How does Taylor Swift's concert providing a nostalgic and exhilarating experience for the fans who have followed her throughout her different eras? And what insight that can we get from the clustering the model that we analyze to find the unique preference, behaviors, and demographic of our fan base? Okay, guys, so yeah, in this intriguing video, we will delve into the captivating world of Taylor Swift fandom and exploring how her concert providing a remarkable blend of nostalgia and also exhilarating for dedicated fans who have followed her through her different eras. Okay, but what makes the experience so special? Okay, now we are will employing the cutting-edge clustering analysis model that powered by machine learning to uncover the unique experience, behavior, and also the demographics of her fans. Okay, and by identifying the distinct segment between her fan base and also explaining how they connect each other with Taylor music and persona, we will unravel the intricate threads that weave together an unforgettable concert journey for the fans. Okay, no, oh, disclaimer, I'm not the fan, but it is intriguing to find out. Okay, yeah, so get ready to dive in. Okay, just let's see the code. Here it is, okay? We are doing the code to do the clustering as we mentioned before, okay? The code is start by importing the necessary libraries as always, such as the pandas, numpy, matplotlib, okay? These libraries will provide the functionality for data manipulation, numerical computation, data visualization, and the others, okay? And here, we are creating the dummy data set because we need the data to explaining how the machine learning of clustering work here. These data sets represent the various attributes of the Taylor Swift fans, that is including their age, their gender, favorite album, favorite song, concert attendance, merchandise broadcast, and also social media following. And here, the dummy data is converted to the data frame using the pandas library. Okay, the data frame is a two-dimensional data structure that organizing the data in a tabular format. This is allowing for easy manipulation and also the analysis. Okay, and then here the features that will be used for clustering this analysis is selected, okay? In this case, we are finding some features that are interesting here that are the age, concert attendance, and also the social media following. These features are relevant for understanding the preference, behavior, demographics, and attribute of the Taylor Swift fans, okay? And then after we are selecting the features, we are using to encode the categorical features that are such as the genders, the favorite album, favorite song, and all of this is encoded as a numbers. This is done to convert these categorical variables into the numerical representation that can be processed by the clustering algorithms. For example, gender feature is mapped for 0 for male and 1 for female. While the favorite album feature assigned numerical values corresponding to different Taylor Swift albums that we mentioned in dummy data. So here, then the selected feature are then scaled using the standard scaler from the scikit-learn. The scaling will ensure that all features have comparable range and variance that will help in avoiding bias and also influencing during the clustering process. Okay. And then what are we do after that? And we will do the main code that will employing the elbow method, guys. Okay, here it is. We are using the elbow method. Now this will involving to calculating within cluster sum of square, or we it's called WCSS for different values of k. K is the number of clusters, and we are real plotting them into the graphic. Okay, the optimal number of cluster is typically located at the elbow point of the plot. This is where the increasing number of the cluster doesn't significantly reducing the WCSS. Okay, and then based on the elbow plot, the code selecting the k equals to 2 as the optimal number of the clusters. This means that the data will be divided into two distinct clusters based on the chosen features. Okay, so here it is. With the k-mean algorithms, light with the k equals to 2 to performing the clustering analysis, right? This k-mean is an iterative algorithm that aims to partitioning the data into the k cluster, which is two clusters, and which each data point assigned to the cluster whose centroid is closest to it. Okay, the algorithm iteratively updates the cluster assignments and recalculates the centroids until the convergence is achieved. And here, how about the resulting? Okay, for the resulting cluster labels are added as a new column called the cluster to the original data frame. Each fan is assigned to a cluster label that indicating the segment they belong based on their features. Okay, and now here we are calculating it. The code calculating and print the mean value of each attribute within each cluster. This will providing the insight into the average age, average gender, distribution, favorite album, songs, concert attendance, merchandising, broadcasting behavior, social media, that attribute that we have defined before. It will help in understanding the characteristic and also the preferences of fans within each segment, okay? And additionally, this code will printing the size, which is the number of fans in each cluster. This information revealing the distribution of fans across the identified cluster. It will indicating the relative size and the proportion of the segment. Finally, the cluster visualized using a scatter plot. The plot represents the edge on the x-axis here, as you can see, and the cohort attendance on the y-axis. Okay, each fence point is colored according to their assigned cluster. This visualization will allowing for a visual understanding of how the fans are grouped based on the age and also the cohort attendance. It will help us to identify any distinct patterns or separation among these clusters. Okay, and now we are continuing to the output. We are zoom out a little bit so you can see all of it. Okay, this is some kind of the explanation for this output. The output displaying the mean values of the age, gender, favorite album, favorite song, concert attendance, merchandise broadcast, and also social media following for each of the clusters. This means the value providing the insight into the average characteristic and also preferences of the fans within each cluster. For example, we can observe the average range, the dominant gender, the most popular favorite album, and also the average level of concert attendance here. And the second main point of this output is the output also show us the size, which is the number of fans in each cluster here. Okay. This information will indicating the distribution of fans across the identified cluster. It will revealing the relative size and proportion of the segments. It will help in understanding how many fans belong to each cluster and relative popularity for different segments. And now for the scatter plot. The scatter plot will visualize the cluster based on the age and the concert attendance. Each fan's point is plotted on the graph, and the color of the point represents their assigned cluster. This visualization allows for a clear understanding of how the fans are grouped based on these two attributes. It will help in identifying any distinct patterns or the separation here. It will give us, as you can see, you will provide a visual representation of the clustering results and in aiding in the interpretation of the fan segmentation. Okay, so well, yeah, in the summary, this code is performing clustering analysis on the Taylor Swift fan data to identify the distinct segment within the fan base. The output here is providing the statistical insight into each cluster's characteristic and also preference while using the visualization for a cluster of two, so we can get a better understanding of this segmentation of the fans. Okay, so what can we take some lesson learned from here? As we have conclude our exploration into the world of fandom of the Taylor Swift and also categorizing it with a simple machine learning model, okay, we can get some knowledge from it. By grouping the fans based on their preference, their behavior, and also demographic, we have identified this in the distinct segment within the Taylor Swift fan base. This cluster can shed the light in the diverse way which fans related to Taylor's music and persona. It will further enhancing the nostalgic and also exhilarating experience that await for you at her concert, especially if you are a Taylor Swift fans and also nerdy. I'm not a fan, but I'm just nerdy, okay? Okay. And with the power of the connection and the shared enthusiasm and the shared your name, we can see this Taylor Swift is the Michael Jackson of her era. Okay, in this era, he is the Michael Jackson of this era. Okay, and with her career is culminating in the pinnacle of her career, hopefully you can get some insight from here, and you can also learn some computer science materials from this video. If you like this video, you can just subscribe it, comment, and also like. Okay, if you have some critics and also you have some suggestion for this channel, you can also comment here below. Okay, maybe that's all for me. Thank you everyone. Hopefully we can always learn something new. Okay, thank you. See you on the next video.